Hello, welcome to this week's yoga class. My name is Candy Block. I'll be leading you through this 30-minute flow. I wanted to let you know I have created a playlist that really matches kind of the theme and the feel for this flow. So if you're looking for that, the link is in the description for the video. The playlist is on Spotify, so you can find it there. Today we're really going to be focused on this idea of slowing down. Now, this is something that comes up for me a lot. I'm sure it's probably pretty relatable for most people. We tend to put a lot of things on our plate, and then it's the summer season right now, which we tend to have a lot of things happening around town. Our days are longer, we're doing a lot. But recently I had my parents visiting me from Indiana, and it was this really wonderful break, which I wasn't expecting, because sometimes when we have people visit us, which we love, we end up wanting to do a lot of things with them. We want to show them the city, we want to go to Lake Tahoe, we want to go on hikes, we really want to show them how beautiful this place is that we call home. And this time we ended up really just relaxing at home, and it was so nice. We spent just so much time kind of sitting on the couch with, a cup of coffee in the morning and, chatting until we realized it was lunchtime, and then we would, go out for lunch and come back. And it was just a very relaxed time, which felt really good. And it made me kind of think of this difference between when we are invited to slow down and when we notice that beautiful invitation in front of us and we can accept that and embrace it, versus the times when we're really forced to slow down. And by that I mean the things like an injury that might keep us from getting on our mat or working out, or we lose a job and we're, those things that just kind of hit the brakes and like force you to stop, which are sometimes needed, and those happen in life. But there is this difference, and it has a different feel when it's kind of a pleasant surprise to slow down. And so that's what I invite you to find on the mat this week, is this invitation to slow down in a way that feels good for you, something that feels really pleasant. And we'll kind of imagine that as we go through our practice today. So we're going to start on our backs. And I recommend grabbing a block if you have one. If not, you can use a towel that's just kind of folded up small to prop you up. You can also use any kind of pillows or throw pillows or things like that around the house. We're going to start in a heart opener. So lying on our back, the block is going to come right at the shoulder blades. So for any ladies out there, it's probably about where your sports bra line is. For guys, just look for kind of your lower shoulder blades, and that's where you're trying to hit. And we'll just come back onto the block, and then placing the head on the mat. If that feels like too much of a crunch in your neck, you can also take a second block or a second pillow or towel and just lay your head on top of that. And then the arms can come down to the side, and you can either keep the soles of the feet on the earth with the knees bent. You can also extend the legs long on the mat, or you could place the soles of the feet together, knees open wide like a book. And then maybe close the eyes here, just really settling into this first pose of practice. Taking nice slow inhales through the nose, and nice slow exhale out of the nose. Continue that breath on your own, noticing what it feels like to slow down. Even pausing for a yoga practice can really be a wonderful break in your day, or maybe a way to start your day feeling really grounded and centered. Or you can even end the day really releasing the hustle and bustle and stress, and finding these slower moments on the mat. Deepen the breath a little bit further. And every exhale, see if you can slow down the breath, extending the exhale as long as possible. And we'll slowly begin to bring the knees up towards the sky, planting the soles of the feet on the earth if they weren't there already. And then we'll just roll onto one side or the other, coming off of the blocks or pillows or towels, and just moving them off to the side. We'll come back onto the back, hugging the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a little bit of a squeeze. Maybe doing some little bit of knee circles, going one way and then the opposite direction. And then we'll come into a spinal twist, a really gentle spinal twist to start practice. So your arms can go out to a T on either side, and then we'll drop the knees over towards the right. And you're really trying to get your shoulders to stay on the earth. And you can place a hand on top of your knees to coax them a little bit closer to the ground. Or you may even want to take a block or the pillow and towel that you were using and prop them under your knees to give you a little bit of support. This doesn't have to be your deepest twist, we're just warming up the spine. And then we'll bring our knees back through center, hugging them in towards the chest, and then drop the knees over towards the left. Arms out to a T, or you can cactus the arms. And then again, either finding a little bit of support under the knees with your block or pillows, or you can place a hand on top of the knees, just to add a little bit of weight to bring the knees closer to the earth. Taking nice, slow inhales and exhales. We'll slowly bring the knees back in towards the chest, grabbing the back of the thighs. We're going to rock and roll on the spine, coming up to all fours, but rocking a couple times, noticing how this feels on each vertebrae, then crossing at the ankles, coming over onto all fours. We'll warm up the spine a little bit more with a few cat-cows. So inhale, drop the belly, shine the heart forward, and then exhale, round through the spine, tucking the chin towards the chest. Moving with your breath, inhale, drop the belly, arch the spine, and then exhale, round through the back. Once more, inhale, arching the spine, and exhale, rounding. We'll meet in a neutral tabletop position, tuck the toes, and then make your way back to your first downward facing dog. Taking a moment to really pedal out the feet here. Give yourself time to arrive in this pose. That's the beauty of really slowing down and taking a break, so that we can give ourselves time. We'll take an inhale to the balls of the feet, and then exhale, root the heels down towards the mat. We'll inhale to the balls of the feet, and this time as you exhale, slowly step all the way to the top of the mat, feet coming between the hands, and a nice forward fold. We'll inhale, wave the spine up, half lift, and then exhale, bend the knees deeply, waving the spine up vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming to stand, Tadasana, mountain pose at the top of the mat. Feet rooted in towards the earth. Feeling the strength coming up the legs. A slight tuck of the tailbone, broad across the collarbones. We'll inhale, sweeping the arms up, around, overhead. And then exhale, hinge at the hips, fold over your legs. Inhale, wave the spine up, half lift. And then exhale, plant the hands, stepping back to plank, top of a push-up. Rock forward on your tippy toes and lower all the way to the earth. Untuck the toes and inhale up, baby cobra. And then exhale back to your downward facing dog. Take a moment for yourself, pedal out your feet. Maybe just shaking the hips from side to side might also feel good. We'll take that one more time. Inhale to the balls of the feet. And exhale, root the heels down. Inhale to the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, slowly step or hop to the top of your mat, coming into your forward fold. We'll inhale, wave the spine up, half lift. And then exhale, bend at the knees, fold over your legs. And then wave the spine up, vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. We'll inhale, sweep the arms up, around, overhead. And then as we exhale, we'll fold over the legs. Inhale, wave the spine up, half lift. And then exhale, step the feet back, coming into plank. Rock forward on your tippy toes and lower all the way or halfway chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. From here, we'll bring our feet to touch at the back of the mat. And inhale the right leg up and back, three-legged down dog. As we exhale, we'll silently step the foot between the hands, lower the back knee, untuck the back toe, and inhale the arms up for a low crescent lunge. Take the exhale to settle into your pose. We'll bring our hands to heart center, taking one more inhale to find length in the spine. And then as we exhale, we twist over the right leg, hooking the left elbow on the knee, and then we press into the hands to deepen the twist. Notice your breath here. We'll slowly begin to unwind, planting the hands on either side of the front foot. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and then step back to plank, top of a push-up. From here, we're gonna roll to the outside blade of the left foot. And then you can keep your feet side by side, or you can also stack one on top of the other, opening up into side plank. Holding here for a moment, really drawing the shoulder blades down the back. One more big inhale, lifting the hips. And then we'll slowly plant the right hand back onto the earth. Rock forward on the tippy toes and lower all the way or halfway chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. We'll bring the toes to touch at the back of the mat and inhale the left leg up and back, three-legged down dog. And then as you exhale, quietly step the foot between the hand, lower the back knee, untuck the back toes, and inhale the hands up for low crescent lunge. Exhale to settle into the pose. Finding your breath here, slowing down your practice. We'll bring the hands to heart center, taking another inhale to find the length in the spine. And then as we exhale, we twist, hooking the right elbow on the left knee, and then pushing through the hands to deepen our twist. We'll slowly unwind, planting the hands on the outside of the left foot, tucking the back toe, lifting the back knee, and then stepping back to our plank, top of a push-up. This time rolling to the outside of the right foot, keeping the feet side by side or stacking the left on top of the right. We'll come into our side plank, really engaging through the obliques, lifting the hips while drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Taking one more inhale, and then exhale, planting the left hand on the earth, rock forward on the tippy toes and lower all the way or halfway, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. Find your breath here. Really using the down dog as your reset between each side and portion of the practice. Shake your head side to side, yes and no, noticing how that feels. We'll bring the feet to touch at the back of the mat and inhale the right leg up and back, three-legged down dog, and then exhale, step the foot between the hands. This time keeping the knee up, we're coming into our high crescent lunge. And then exhale to settle into this pose. Really noticing we still have a slight tuck of the tailbone here, so we're not pinching anything in the low back. That might mean you need to have a slight bend in your back leg, and that's okay, as long as we're not feeling any pinching here. We'll bring our hands down to heart center. Take an inhale to find length in the spine, and then exhale, twisting, hooking our left elbow on the right knee once again. Coming into our twist. If you're feeling off balance today or this is a little too much, you can always lower the back knee. Or you can keep it lifted for just a little extra fire today. We'll slowly begin to unwind, coming back into our high crescent lunge. And then we'll open up to warrior two. Our hips are open to the side, and our front knee is still tracking directly over the front ankle, rooted down through the outside blade of the left foot. Relax the shoulders down the back, maybe even dropping the arms, giving yourself a nice shoulder roll, and then raising the arms back up. Soft gaze over the front middle finger. We'll take a big inhale to reverse the warrior, giving yourself a nice side stretch here. Coming back to warrior two, we'll take an inhale to come into our extended side angle pose. Now you can stay here, really playing with bringing the weight off of the elbow. So see if you can lift this arm. We don't want to drop all of our weight into the elbow. Instead, we really want to be using the legs and the core to lift us. You can also bring the hand down towards the mat, or you can use your blocks here as well. That's a great option to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. So again, finding the blocks and then opening up, extended side angle. I'll take one more big inhale here. And then as we exhale, we're gonna bring the left arm down, heel toe our front foot out towards the edge of the mat. We can move any props out of the way. So both hands are on the inside of the right leg, and then we're gonna drop the knee, coming into lizard pose. In lizard, you have quite a few options. You can stay upright. Sometimes this is enough in my hips And so just staying here will feel good. If you'd like a little bit more though, you can begin to roll onto the outside blade of your right foot, keeping the foot flexed, and then even push into the leg to really open the hip. If you feel any pinching in the knee come out of this, that's why we want to keep the foot flexed to avoid any knee injuries. And then if this feels good, you can stay here, or you also have the option to come down onto your elbows, or maybe come onto blocks or towels or pillows, whatever you have at home. Really listening to your body and breathing deeply. This is a pose where we really start to slow down the practice. Slow down the breath. Slowly come back onto your hands. If you came down to your elbows, we're going to tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and then step the right foot back to our plank. Rock forward on the tippy toes with an inhale, and then exhale, lower all the way or halfway chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. We'll bring the toes to touch at the back of the mat and inhale the left leg up, three-legged down dog. As you exhale, quietly step the foot between the hands. Keeping the back knee lifted, we'll come into our high crescent lunge on the inhale, and then exhale to settle into this pose. We'll bring our hands to heart center. Inhale to find length in the spine, and then we'll slowly twist, hooking the right elbow on the left knee, pushing into the hands to deepen the twist. At any time, if this feels like too much, you can always drop down on your back knee, or you can stay lifted just for a little extra heat. We'll slowly begin to unwind, coming back into our high crescent lunge, and then open up to warrior two. So again, our hips are facing towards the side of the mat. We're really pushing down through the outside blade of our back foot, and our front knee is tracking over the front ankle. So strong in the legs, but really relax the shoulders. So I like to drop my arms sometimes, do a nice shoulder roll, and then I'll come back into it. And then our gaze is right over our front middle finger. On the next inhale, reverse your warrior, keeping your legs exactly where they are. We'll exhale back into warrior two. And then inhale, coming into our extended side angle. Again, the elbow can be on the knee, but maybe play with taking weight out of the elbow. So we've been lifting a little bit. You can also bring your arm down to a block or the mat or whatever you're using as a prop today to kind of deepen into this. We'll stay here for 3 breaths. Nice big inhales and exhales. And then we'll slowly begin to drop the right hand down, heel toeing the left foot a little closer to the outside of the mat. Both hands are inside of the foot. We'll lower the back knee, untuck the back toe for lizard pose. And again here, you might want to stay exactly in this position. This is great. Sometimes it even feels good to come up onto a block here. So sometimes really propping yourself up can really deepen this stretch in the hip flexor. Others might want to roll onto the outside blade of the foot, keeping the foot flexed, and then push into the knee. or not really the knee, sorry, push into the upper thigh right above the knee. And then you also have an option to come down onto your elbows, really deepening into the stretch. Really listen to your body here. There's no right or wrong. Everything I'm giving you is just an option to guide you through your practice. And this might change from day to day. So sometimes, again, we get into this forced energy where we want to hit our deepest stretch every time. But notice if you're slowing down and really tuning in and listening to your body, what you really want today. Maybe that's standing up on your hands. Maybe it's using your props. So just notice how you can move with a little more ease when we really tune inward. We'll slowly come back up onto the hands if you went down to the elbows. We'll lift the back knee, tucking that back toe, and then step back to our plank position one last time. Take an inhale to rock forward on the tippy toes, and exhale, lower all the way our halfway chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or baby cobra, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. We're going to take an inhale to come up onto the balls of the feet. And as you exhale, slowly step to the top of your mat, meeting in a forward fold. We're going to hang out in this forward fold, so maybe heel toe your feet a little bit wider, about hip distance apart. You can even take your peace fingers and wrap them around the big toes. And then hang heavy here. We'll inhale, waving the spine half lift. And then exhale, fold again over the legs. You can add a bend to the knees here if that feels good in your low back and hamstrings. Or you can play with straightening through the legs, maybe even rocking side to side. Again, letting the neck hang heavy, so really kind of rocking it, noticing that the muscles are relaxed. We'll take the fingers out from under the toes, heel toe the feet in just a little bit. Inhale to wave the spine up, half lift. And then exhale, bend at the knees, folding over the legs, and begin to stand, stacking vertebrae on top of vertebrae. From here, we're just going to step our leg to the back of the mat, right or left leg, doesn't really matter. We're coming into our wide-legged forward fold. So we want our feet to be a little bit pigeon-toed inward. Place the hands on the hips to really inhale and find length in the spine. So feel like you're lifting your spine, growing a little bit taller. And then as we exhale, we'll hinge at the hips and fold all the way between the legs. As you come down, it may feel good to heel toe the feet a little bit wider or a little bit more together. It's totally up to you. We're really hanging heavy here, practicing rocking the weight into the balls of the feet, back into the heels. You can have the arms out towards the ankles or hanging heavy between us. We're taking 5 nice slow breaths here. So you have time to go from side to side. You can walk your hands back and forth. Or really just hang out here. There's no right or wrong. We're just letting gravity pull us down towards the earth, getting a nice stretch in the back of the legs. We'll slowly bring the hands back under the shoulders, and then we're going to heel toe the feet in to be a little more narrow. We'll lift the spine, half lift on an inhale, and then with our hands on our hips, we'll extend up to a stand. We're going to place our hands on the inside of the knees. So this time our feet are going outward instead of pigeon-toed. And we're going to bend through the knees, just coming into our goddess squat here. Really pressing the legs out, feeling the sinking of the hips down. And then maybe you want to drop one shoulder towards the center, coming back up, and then dropping the other. Take that a couple more times to each side. Just noticing the stretch in the inner thighs. We'll take an inhale, coming up to stand. And then one more time, we're gonna heel toe our feet just a little bit closer. This time squatting all the way down, coming into our Melasana Squat. So if this feels a little bit too intense, you can grab a block or whatever you have with you to really come to a seat, using the elbows to push the inside of the thighs open. Hands in prayer position at heart center. Really lifting through the spine so we're nice and tall. Just feeling into this in our hips. Breathe here. Sometimes when we get into these holding stretches, we want to hold our breath. But what really helps us relax and come to this moment is the breath. So really see if you can deepen the inhale, breathing all the way down into the belly. And then exhale nice and slow out of the nose. We'll slowly lift the hips, dropping the hands to the earth to come out of this. Just doing one final forward fold. Moving any props off to the side, and then we're going to come down to a seat. We'll extend the legs long in front of us on the mat. Really shifting the hips to find the sit bones down towards the earth. We'll take an inhale to lift the arms up overhead, and then exhale, hinging over the legs, coming into our forward fold. Really letting the neck hang heavy here. And you can grab the feet, the ankles, the shins, whatever's accessible. Just taking one final long stretch through the back of the legs. We'll slowly begin to come back up. And then we'll extend the legs long on the mat, coming on to the back into our final resting pose for practice. Moving any props out of the way so there's really nothing touching the arms or the legs. Closing the eyes if that feels comfortable. And I'll take this Shavasana with you. Really letting the weight of the body sink into the earth. Noticing the sensations in the body. And we really slow down when we see that invitation to pause in front of us, and we kindly accept it, knowing there's nowhere else that we need to be in this moment, but right here on our mat. Slowly begin to bring some movement back into your fingers and toes. And on your next inhale, take a nice deep breath and stretch the arms up overhead like you're taking that first stretch of the day. And then exhale, let everything go. We'll come on to either the right or left side, pausing in a fetal position, eyes still closed or just a soft inward gaze. Take a big breath, filling the back of the heart, the back of the lungs. And then as you exhale, make your way up to a seated position, crossing with the legs, just an easy seat. We'll bring the hands to heart center, palms to touch, thumbs against the sternum, a slight bow of the head in reverence for this practice. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. I post new videos each Sunday, so please subscribe. Like this video if you enjoyed the practice. Leave any comments below of things that you really enjoyed or questions that you have. I'm always happy to answer those. And then share the video as well with any other yogis in your community. I hope to see you here next week. Bye.